Oh, we're all right. I can tell.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Am I okay?
As long as you
like
turned it on,
okay. Are you sure?
I'm positive. Yeah. If we're not, people will let us know within a minute.
We'll see.
Connie will let us know.
Connie will let us know. Okay.
Or maybe Rosemary.
Want to say thank you to everyone for joining us on the Barre Beat tonight on a Tuesday night, no less. Not no council tonight.
No.
Pretty exciting.
Which is okay. You guys would have been dying of heat in there.
No crap. I probably would have stayed home for that.
I mean, I know all of the fans are going in there, but good gracious.
I'm made of sugar and gravy, so it's never good when...
Sugar and gravy. Okay.
Well, it's lots of gristle.
Good gracious. Danny, can you hear us okay? I just want to make sure, because we didn't check our mics first.
Yeah,
but
we didn't.
Hopefully you can hear us okay. We got a couple of people on here with us, so.
So how you doing, Raylene?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm not doing bad at all. How about you?
I can't complain. It was a nice day off yesterday. I enjoyed it. I went four-wheeling.
Which you love to do.
I do love going four-wheeling. You wouldn't think so. I don't look like the outdoorsy kind of person, but,
What do you mean you don't? You look like Chewbacca, for God's sakes. Or what do you call him? What do you call him? The guy, no, the half man, half gorilla thing in the woods. What do you call that?
Sasquatch?
Yeah, that's what. So you look pretty outdoorsy to me.
That's just the
I say that with love.
So I do want to jump right in on a really awesome update regarding the flood. Is October 12th is the new date. FEMA application deadline.
Yes.
So if you have not filed your thing with FEMA yet,
you have 30 extra days.
30 extra days on top of that. But you know what? Don't wait. Just go and do it now.
Right. And
not
especially
right now, but,
because some of the other things, some of the other monies, some of the other grants, you have to get a denial from FEMA before you qualify for those things. And so you really need to get the process going.
Yeah.
Sooner than later.
Absolutely. It's really important to do that. And you know what? If you sit there and think, I don't think I qualify, really not your job to determine whether or not you qualify.
Right.
Your job is to submit the request and put in your application for it and let FEMA make that decision.
That's right.
And you know what? Maybe you've got a little bit of silt on the ground or whatever.
And here's
you had
my
to have
thing with that. Even if you only have a little bit of, and you lost something. You lost something and you apply though. So here's my asshole piece because it wouldn't be a show without me having some sort of asshole opinion. So here's my asshole opinion that I gave my son. So he had little damage, and FEMA says we'll give you $2,000 for the damage that you have done. But then you got to carry flood insurance and all of that other stuff. You can deny. You can say no, never mind. I don't want your money. In his situation, it was okay to do because it was going to cost him ungodly amounts of money to have mandatory flood insurance. If you take the money, you have to get flood insurance.
I did not know that.
That's one of the requirements of them. If you take the money, then they want you to get flood insurance. And unfortunately, there are people that got FEMA money in 2011 that did not get flood insurance. So now they're being denied this time because they didn't follow the requirements of FEMA.
And not everybody has to get flood insurance.
Right, not everybody.
So
exactly.
I just wanted to clarify that. Not everybody has to get flood insurance if you're applying for FEMA. Don't think that. But there obviously if you're in the flood areas. Right.
But so my son, where he is, the farm has been there for 82 years. This is the first time it's ever flooded. So to have him pay an astronomical amount of money per year for flood insurance, which it was going to be like $4,000. And they were only going to give him $2 for the damage. He might as well just eat the $2. And I just want people to understand, though, is you do have options, and you don't. People are afraid to apply for FEMA for that reason, but you do have options, even if you only have a little bit of damage. Apply, see what they say, see what their requirements are if you get money from them in your location, and then make that decision.
Yeah, it's very important to do that.
Yeah, you're not tied to them just because you applied.
Very true.
Well, and that's what's holding some people back. Some people don't want to because of that reason. So,
right,
just do it.
So, I suppose we should probably talk about the elephant in the room.
The water. Yeah. And the water bill and the water color and the water everything water. And
well, let's talk about the water bill first. Did you get your water bill?
So I have not. I do not know. We should go upstairs and ask my dad if it came yet or not. But I don't believe the water bill has come yet. I do know that it was the 8th that you guys approved the rate hike for water.
Might be, yeah.
I think it was August 8th. But so I know the rate hike is in there, but I know also that some people used an excessive amount of water. And the part that I don't think people have heard, because not everybody watches council meeting, shocker. And I don't think the word has gotten out there well enough, which we'll talk about that part in a minute. But the word I don't think the word has really gotten out there enough that says they expect for people to ask for abatements and for reduced rates because of the water that they had to use or because of leaking pipes due to the flooding and that sort of thing.
Right.
And what is good is that Barre City is going to start holding those forums, the community forums at the Opera House, and hopefully more people attend those than they've attended the city council, because then they'll get all the information that they don't have yet.
Yep. And if you do see that your water is like super high, like twice the amount, just reach out to Clint at City Hall.
Right. They're expecting calls.
Right. They're going to be expecting calls for that. And, that we did vote to abate the water increases. So make sure you reach out to them, make sure
if you were in a flood impacted area.
Well, so I believe it's flood related, and I would call Clint and speak to the water department in Barre City about that.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be my recommendation. Yeah, so want to talk about the water system and all the wonderful discoloration conversations?
Yeah, because I think Nicholas actually did a really good job explaining that. But again, it was at a council meeting and not everybody. I mean, I was very clear on the fact that the systems are testing clear. And there has been circumstances where certain houses, certain sections are not clearing up for some reason. They're still discolored, even though the water tests okay to drink. Right. But he explained, I thought, rather well that they can test they can literally, if they don't know, unless you tell them exactly where you are, they can literally test the section where you are or in your home. And if you say, hey, I've done what you've said, I've let the water, I think it was Tom that said, let your water run in your tub for 45 minutes or an hour. I've done that and I'm still dealing with this. Let them know, and they can come out and literally see what's going on. I think he said there was some sort of station at one of the places, or like a pump station or something, there was a certain location at one of the homes, and they figured out what was wrong, and they were able to resolve that.
So one of the things that people don't understand about the water system is it's extremely complex. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about, the simple, line here and there. It's not.
Right, you have a well and it goes directly to your house. No.
Well, no. Right, it's not like that.
Right.
It's a huge system. Mm-hmm. So think of it as your body. You go to the doctor's office and you say, hey, I'm having pain in my left arm. Mm-hmm. Well, what is that? If you're feeling pain about here, is that from, I don't know, a heart attack, a muscle spasm? I don't know. So
are you getting bursitis in your shoulder? Right. Are you getting acid reflux?
Exactly. It's a significant amount of diagnosis going into that. Mm-hmm. The first thing when we had the problem, we flushed the pipes. That was the first line of defense. So in that example of the chest pain, right? Mm-hmm. That's getting your EKG, not your EKG. Yeah, well, your EKG, your chest scans and stuff like that.
Pressure, so those sorts of things.
We're getting that down, and it's still showing up at some people's houses. Okay. So now what we're going
to do a CT scan.
Now we're
going
to do a CT and an MRI. We're actually draining the tank on Pierce Road. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping that that's going to fix the majority of the problems that are remaining. Mm-hmm. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to have to pivot from there. And it's not fun. And
it's not fun for anyone.
No, it's not. And I can assure you that, I know the people that work in the city for the water. Mm-hmm. The one person that's coming to mind, I won't mention his name, but he cares about the city. Mm-hmm. And it's his license that's on the line. The state's aware of everything, and they're like, "Yeah, you're working on it." The one thing that is really frustrating to hear is when people compare it to
Flint.
Yes, because it's not that. Mm-hmm. So, discoloration does not equal dangerous water.
Right.
I'm not saying I would drink it.
It could,
because I wouldn't want to drink discolored water.
Right.
But it does not mean that you've got heavy metals in the system. Mm-hmm. And that's what people need to understand. We've done tests at houses. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, testing somewhere. It's testing at houses.
Right.
And,
it is. It's horrible. And I wouldn't want my water like that either. I would not drink it. I would be getting bottled water. And I don't know. Maybe there needs to be a request that from FEMA, they're still here, that we get cases of water again up at the Odd, because they have stopped doing that. But maybe we need to make sure that those can be provided for people that, that really need drinking water and right now don't want to drink it, because I don't blame them. I wouldn't drink it either. Yeah. And so, maybe we need somebody within the city needs to have that discussion with FEMA. I don't know where that call comes from, the mayor, the city manager, whom it comes from. But I'm just guessing that we could probably get that.
So the point that I'm trying to make at this moment, though, is that if hopefully the Pierce Road tank being emptied out will take care of the problems. Mm-hmm. The system had a huge shock, right? It had a huge shock with the flood, and then on top of that, we had to flush out the pipes. That made a difference as well, and we're still working on some isolated issues.
Mm-hmm. We're actually pretty fortunate that the water system held up the way it did.
Considering how old it is.
Considering how old it is and everything that has happened, we're actually really, really lucky. We could be in a situation where nobody had any water at all until it could be fixed. Michael sees something.
Yeah, I see something. Hey, Simon, build a well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? Just listen. Trying to explain that, and for those that don't know, I know him. So it's not like I'm just talking to a random person. Moving on from that, the point that I'm trying to say is that, the city is trying to address the water issues, very much aware of it. Mm-hmm. And it's not going unnoticed on their behalf.
No.
I've been in constant communication with Nicholas over it. He's got this as a priority, obviously,
and he's been very forthcoming.
He has
in
been
all of
absolutely
it, very forthcoming and saying, "Yes, I understand. There's still some issues, and we want you to tell us. We want to know." And I know that some people felt that he was really short, and that's unfortunate because it's not really who he is.
Yeah.
I think he's getting frustrated and he's getting tired, and this has been, let's face it, he was not long on the job, and out of the gate he was dealing with a whole lot of stuff, and we're lucky actually to have him, and because he's done a great job. And everybody has.
Megan, I do want to say that's exactly what you need to do. Take a picture of it.
Yes.
Forward it to the city, and provide your address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
So, but that's the deal with the water. I understand that it's really frustrating for folks, and it's frustrating to try to diagnose the problem as well. So
yeah, it's frustrating for everybody. Sure.
It is. And City Hall is working on it. So just want to assure folks that that's the case. But anyway, so moving on, just a little bit of an update. So the Resource Hub is going to be active, hopefully middle of this month. Mm-hmm. And what it currently looks like.
Right.
There's obviously some work being done in there. It's the old police department. So folks that remember, Megan, you would just want to send it to the water department. You could CC the manager if you wanted to. That's fine. Or CC me. That's fine as well. m.booten@barrycity.org. In fact, I would like for you to do that. That would be great if you could CC me on that. This way I can monitor it as well.
Yeah.
But so anyway, this is the old police department.
Oh, in the basement of City Hall.
Well, it's not the basement. It's actually off to the side.
Oh.
So that's where the Resource Hub is going to be. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's being set up. It should be set up and running sometime.
Will the volunteer coordinator be in there and all of that? Is that what's happening there?
I think the volunteer coordinator works for the city.
Okay.
Or not the city, but the BCEMS.
Oh, okay.
I know he does.
Yep.
I said I think, but he does.
Yep. So the Resource Hub is what?
Sure. So that's going to be a one-stop shop for getting information, and that's going to be set up so that folks can come in there and get information on stuff. So, and where the old police department is, if you look at City Hall, there, for those that don't remember,
right, if you're standing right in front of it,
long time
to
ago,
the right.
It has been empty for a very long time, but it's right off to the right of City Hall entrance. There's another entrance there, but you can also go in the main entrance of City Hall, walk around the manager's office,
right,
down past Rick's office, and you'll get there that way as well. Once it's all set up. It's not currently set up now, but it will be hopefully sometime in the middle of this month.
Nice.
So maybe in a week or two.
And in the meantime, people can just go to Air It Out and check out all the links that are on there for all the different resources.
Yep. So last week, I think it was last week, you and JD were talking about Phil Scott, right? And somebody had said that he wasn't down and hasn't helped out at all.
And he most certainly was. He spent a great amount of time in Denty Park.
He did. And guess what I got? I got pictures.
Yeah.
So I pulled pictures. I ripped them off his Facebook page.
He was really out there working. And this isn't the first time that he's been here working. And helping and planting gardens and shoveling and raking and lugging garbage. And this isn't the first time. And I can't say that every other town and city in the state of Vermont that had damage, I can't say he was there. So we ought to be very grateful that he's a Barre boy through and through. He is a Barre boy. And he took a lot of pride in that. And he made sure to come and help us.
Huge thank you to Governor Scott for showing up.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Honestly, it's not surprising because he shows up all the time.
I know. He always does.
City councilor for 13 years and never been concerned about whether or not he's going to show up. He will be there. Yeah. I even got a nice picture of him with me in my clown outfit.
Oh, gosh. Lucky him. Lucky you, Phil. Lucky you.
With a awesome mayor, Mr. Thomas Lozon.
Yeah.
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 One of these days.
Those were the days.
Maybe one of these days it would be nice again.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Connie, I never paid tickets there down at the police station. But I remember going there because of a friend throwing a tire iron through my window going 60 miles per hour up Beckley Street.
Oh, that's not good. That's not and you're calling them a friend? Okay, well, then.
They weren't technically a friend at the time.
Right. But now they are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
I would say so.
I know where it is because when we were young and in school, Trevor Whipple was part of the DARE program and stuff. Yep. And we would go there sometimes after school to participate in some of the stuff that he was doing.
Oh, we never did that.
Yeah.
We never did that. That's pretty awesome. Officer Whipple was our DARE person as well.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. When I did something, he was the Jason Fleury, right?
Right. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
I'll have to 100% agree with that. At least as a kid, he was a great guy. But, maybe he was a horrible person. I didn't know. But he seemed like a great guy from my perspective.
I don't think he has a horrible bone in his body.
No. So Officer Whipple was our DARE person. And I know that when I got into trouble once, I was really glad he was there.
Maybe we need to bring DARE back.
Everybody said it didn't work, but I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know it's not working now.
Yeah, I don't know if I
something's
agree
not
with
working
that.
now.
Right.
I do have to wonder that when we start talking about even education in general, which we talk about all these newfangled ways of teaching things.
Yep.
And yet our education's going downhill.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I agree.
Maybe.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a great program.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good too. So last week, the little close call with water. That was last week.
With all the rain, the heavy rain. Yes, it was terrible.
My phone was blowing up.
It was puddling terrible.
I know.
I know. Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. And it frightened a lot of people. I felt so bad because the phone, it was going crazy.
Yeah.
My phone was going crazy. People were wondering if we were going to go live. Was there going to be an update from Joe or the city?
Yep.
What was happening? It was very frightening for a lot of people.
And I was, again, constantly messaging back and forth with Nicholas about it. And he was just saying that there's just puddling right now.
Right.
And he was monitoring it. City was monitoring it, and it did get a little hairy, a little scary. And I'll show some of the pictures from that day.
Right.
But
there was no flood watch in effect.
There
wasn't.
We
just knew that the only thing that we had reported in the morning were going to be the really intense passing showers, but that they would be quick bursts of rain, and that's exactly what was happening.
It did turn into ponding, Karen. Yes. So that is correct. It was pretty intense. It definitely was pretty intense, and I'll just play the video if it will allow me to.
Yeah.
So this is on Gunner Brook. This is Gunner Brook, right next to Brook Street, and I was getting messages about that, and I was like, "It's as long as."
And look at the trash racks doing their job again.
And the trash racks did their job exactly.
Again. Yep.
So that was pretty awesome that it did that, and it was pretty close with the Harrington Avenue properties, but it, the things were okay, and then we had this wonderful 5 days of glorious weather.
I know
it's been
and they
lovely.
are talking about rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but light rain, not the chances aren't huge. It's not going to be huge downpours, no flooding, none of that.
Do you remember that commercial with Mother Nature?
I don't.
She was the butter. It was like pecan or something. Not parquet. Parquet. Was it parquet?
I don't know.
What was pecan? Pecan.
Because you're thinking butter.
But I'm thinking of pecan. It was the butter. I think it was the butter, like parquet. I think it was parquet. Or maybe it wasn't.
And it was Mother Nature?
It was Mother Nature. And the butter, they said, have some butter, Mother Nature. And she tastes it and she's like, oh, it's such wonderful butter. And then the person that's narrating says, it's not butter, it's margarine. And she gets all angry and she, the thunderstorm comes down and says, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. You never seen that?
I have never seen that. But
you're going to have to post that. I'm going to get that and I'm going to make you post it online.
But I want to know why, what about this conversation made you think about freaking butter? That's what I want to know.
I'm making, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. See,
right.
Sandy Leopold knows. I couldn't see it through the screen. Yeah. So what was going through my mind was,
it's not nice of Mother Nature to fool us.
Yeah, she's totally being a
bitch.
Yes. She needs to back off.
Yes, she does. She really does.
Oh, man.
I agree with you 100%. I know a few bitches that should back off, but, we won't go there.
So the other thing that I want to talk about is the parking meters, on how that's over with. Mm-hmm. So Dee is going to be out there. She's going to be writing tickets. I know that some folks didn't know that she wasn't writing tickets.
Right.
Thank you for feeding the meters. Sorry about that. City Council did vote to suspend the parking meter program.
And again, we just have to be better about sharing that information and getting it out there.
Right. I mean, we tried. We certainly tried.
And unfortunately, things were chaotic enough so that little stickers that go up during the holidays. We didn't have time to, there was no time for all of us to volunteer to run around and do that kind of stuff.
No. So today is
right.
Oh my, this computer is so slow.
It is?
It's really slow. So
I don't know what the hell the problem is.
September 5th, today is the end of the parking. You have to start feeding the meters again. It says, I love this little cartoon. It was, bummer Phil, you must have forgotten to feed the meter, and the meter's crunching on the car. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You like that?
It excited? Is cool. I'm super excited.
Super excited about the feeding of the meters?
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah. I have a handicap placard.
Oh, do you?
But I don't always use it. Once in a blue moon. If I'm really having a hard day, I do. But otherwise, no.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you get half of your foot removed and you have MS, you can get one of those. Yeah. believe me, it's not worth it.
No, probably not. I was having a difficult time making the screen change.
You were?
It's moving so slow.
I have no idea why. Maybe it doesn't like this weather either.
It might not. Or it's just like...
shitting the bed?
Yeah.
I hope not.
So, you want to talk about the accessory dwelling unit?
We can.
We can?
We can.
We can.
Well, yes. Well...
So let me pull it up.
I can't, though. I mean...
Well, sure you can. Yeah, it's not
I can now. I can...
You can absolutely talk about it. So... So the accessory dwelling unit, we had a conversation at the council meeting, and it was the section where we removed it says we removed the minimum parking, and the planning commission had recommended to shall be exempt from minimum parking. But one of the things that happens in committees is that sometimes when you're going through this stuff, you don't see different perspectives.
Right.
Which is the reason why it's important to have so many perspectives on those committees, especially in the planning commission.
And then have it go before council. Correct.
Exactly. It sounds like we probably need a developer on there too. And not just, something that we should probably consider trying
not
to
just
get.
Me, people like me that I don't know what the hell, because literally, so how I felt when I went into council with the proposal that I had read that we had, all worked on.
I did too, just so you know.
And then, but then I heard the arguments, and I heard Tom say, that is going to put you in a long-term box that you don't want to be in. And the reasons and then I was like, oh, yeah, no.
Same here. I was fully...
We don't want to do that.
I was ready to accept the ADU modifications. And then when Councilor Lozon made mention of it, I was like, oh
yeah.
my.
I mean, some of
that's
the things,
not okay.
Yeah, and so I was very happy to get that perspective. It's super, it's tough to swallow to know that you have to go back to the drawing board and start all over from scratch when you're really trying to improve something.
We could have just modified it.
Right, we could have just modified it, but some people didn't want to just modify it. But so we go back, but can it still be modified, or is it too late now?
So it's going back to the planning commission. So it will go through the planning commission process again. And that's where you'll just have to go through that process again. It's unfortunate, but that's where it is currently.
Yeah.
So,
because it's a need, it's a cool, and it's cool that we can have those. That
I think we absolutely need them.
The way to go.
Yeah.
Especially for some people look at me with my dad. I mean, for he's getting older and he needs to be with somebody, and so it just works that we can do that. And and we're fortunate to have this situation. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going back to the planning commission, and they'll discuss it again, and maybe they'll either change it and send it back, which if they hit the same amount of people that way, then it would be denied again, or at that council meeting I was technically mayor. So there wasn't the 4 votes needed to get that passed.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a valid, what Tom made for a point was, parking is a premium. No matter how much people say that we've got plenty of parking, with all due respect, the majority of we're not young, 30-year-olds riding our bikes everywhere, right? I'm 43 years old, but not exactly physically fit, right? Okay, so for me, I would need a parking spot.
And where do people go during winter parking ban?
Correct.
Where do
and
they
that's
park?
The other
you
thing.
Can't park on the
you
streets.
You can't park on the streets. You gotta have parking, and it's one thing to go through the DRB, which, and Tom brought it straight out. If you want to have an accessory dwelling unit without parking, that's fine. You can easily have it. You just have to go through the DRB, which is not an unreasonable.
Remove it totally would just put it in a box that is frightening. Yeah.
So moving on from that, we do have the trash pickup. It's over with. That ended 2 weeks ago? Feels like 2 weeks ago.
But they're having a bulky trash pickup, correct?
They are having a bulky trash collection event, and
BOR.
Yep. And that's on September 16th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is Barre City only, and it's only residential. That's at the BOR. Bring up box springs,
does it as
couches.
Well. I think they do it as well. At one point, they each take their turn and they do it. And the city has done this more than once. This isn't just flood. I think they did it last year for people as well. And then the tire one.
Yep.
They did a couple of different ones.
Yep. I reached out to Nicholas on it and asked him how much it's going to cost, because, there was a post today about the pickup, and the pickup has passed. And it, there was quite a bit of communication about that. And then there was an extension on it, and then finally the extension passed. It's really expensive to do citywide pickup.
Yes.
And so anyway, I reached out to Nicholas because I might ask if we could do another bulky waste. Just in case folks miss that one, just to give folks an opportunity.
I say to people who are,
but for now it's September 16th only.
Yeah,
so
and
for clarity,
if you have stuff and you don't have means of transportation, post on the Barre City Community fan page.
Yep.
The
bulletin
fan page,
board.
The bulletin board.
Yep.
Post there,
resident chat,
the resident chat, the city chat, and just let people know that you have this stuff. You have no way to transport, and I'm sure that there are people that are willing to help.
And I know that, I think Nicholas told me that Rainbow Bridge is helping out folks that need assistance getting stuff to the dump. So you can reach out to them as well.
Yeah.
And
you're not alone in this, even though sometimes it feels like you are. You're really not alone in this, because you can reach out to your neighbors, and I encourage everybody to do that, because one of us, somebody, will see it and be willing to help you or find you a resource.
Right.
We're very lucky that way, I think. Anyways,
I would agree.
I think that we're very fortunate that way.
I would agree. And then finally, we have the RFPs that are due September 7th. And that's for damage to city buildings. So if you're a contractor, you would need to... Well, the pre-bid site will be held on Wednesday, August 30th, so we're a little bit behind on that one. But for those that went, well, the bids must be received by September 7th, but I'm assuming that it's a little too late now that I'm looking at this.
For you to say that here. But it was said. And
it was said.
Everybody's got them
maybe, I don't know if... Now I feel kind of bad. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well. I guess that's the end of that. So never mind. I think it's too late.
I think you'll be forgiven.
So So
tomorrow's only the 6th. So somebody, if it doesn't expire till the 7th, somebody still does have time. So technically,
correct. So if they went and looked at the stuff and
do it quick.
Yeah. So quick question, Raylene.
Mm-hmm.
I say Burning Man Festival. What comes to your mind?
Flood.
Yeah. I was thinking stupid rich people need to get a life.
Oh, yeah, that too. But I mean, that's all day I've read about the floods and the one death and all of that stuff. So,
oh, I didn't hear about the death.
Yeah.
Now I feel kind of bad that I made the snarky comment about. I guess I don't feel too bad because it is rich people that are going there.
Those electric car owners that you have a real problem with.
Are you trying to trigger me?
Michael's twitching now.
I am twitching. I am very much twitching my love for electric cars. All right.
You got all serious there for a second.
I know.
No, I don't think so. I don't think. I just apply for FEMA.
Yeah.
Get your stuff in there. The community fund grant is live. You can apply for that. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Join the concert in the State House lawn this Saturday with Dave Keller and all his friends will be there. And that is also for flood relief for not only the Barre City Community Relief Fund, but the Montpelier as well. That's posted on Aired Out. All kinds of stuff like that. And then please get your trash ready to go to the bulk trash removal on the 16th. We'll be posting more about that. And please, if you need help and you don't have somebody to bring it or you have no way to bring it, let us know so we can find you some help that you need.
So have you announced the new sponsor?
No, we have not.
Okay. So I won't say anything about that then.
Yeah, no, you cannot.
Okay.
We cannot talk about that yet.
I apologize.
We have, but I have told people that we have some pretty exciting news coming soon. And we actually have a couple. So we have a couple of really big announcements by a new sponsor. And then we have a big announcement by an old sponsor that's making some pretty significant changes. So we'll be sharing that information really soon.
Okay. So, because we're streaming live to Aired Out right now as well. So I figured I'd make a mention of some of
we
the...
have people watching us.
Yeah.
So, like, hi, Hillary, Amy, Sue, Bill, Mary. Thanks for tuning in, Mary. Love you to death. Danny, Danielle. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, Chris Massey's there.
Yeah.
I know that Ruthie Ears Auto.
Yes,
is one.
They are a sponsor. So we have. I
actually got to go to them and get my
Preston's, Fecto's. We have Gusto's.
Ooh, let's talk about Gusto's real quick.
Oh yes, because you had wings tonight on Taco Tuesday. You had wings. Did you not know it was Taco Tuesday?
I don't care.
Or you don't like tacos?
I don't care about Taco Tuesday. I care about wings.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, today's not Wings Wednesday, so I just had to get a large. And
did you get those maple things that you got the other night too? Those pretzels?
No, but for folks that don't know, Gusto's does have this cinnamon pretzel drenched in maple yummy goodness, and I highly recommend it.
The other night you were like drooling.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I will say it's not good for my sugar though.
We went out the other night to Gusto's and had dinner.
We did.
And
see,
that's not bad.
No,
that's
this is not
horrible,
bad, but this is what happens when you are stupid, and you can see that I was up in the 250s there.
Yeah, but that's not horrible. Maybe considering. Yeah. You don't want to tell people that your sugar is terrible.
Yeah.
But anyways,
and Barbara.
So, yeah, Gusto's optical.
I saw Barbara down there. I'm sorry.
Barbrouche?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
I saw her. And you mentioned
optical expressions.
Optical expression, which although I wasn't wearing
Routhier,
them.
Vermont Quick Lube and Car Wash in South Barrie, Salvador and Babbitt, Green Mountain Mulch, Bulldogs, Yipes, Vermont Concrete Cutting, Jason Gothier's Quality Grounds, John Sell, who's the like every know-it-all when it comes to computers and security systems. I already said Preston Inspectos, the Chamber of Commerce, Donnybrook Fight Promotion, Barstow Construction, Granite City MMA. Oh my gosh, if I forget something, I'll feel terrible.
You know what?
Oh, FGB Theater.
I'm going to feel terrible about this. I forgot to warn people about...
Like all of those things, all of those people. We love them. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. Drew, General Transport, Nelson Ace Hardware, State Farm Insurance. He's new.
So I do want to... I forgot to remind people about this. Barre Up Community Flood Recovery Meeting.
Oh, yes.
That's September 13th, 5:30.
At the Opera House,
free, right? Yes, at the Barre Opera House. 5:30 p.m. It's going to be free pizza dinner.
Yes.
And from 6 to 9 p.m., community discussion and forums.
Yeah.
And go to barrecity.org/flood for more information.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show.
Sorry.
And we've been sharing that.
Okay,
so
you have. Never mind then.
Not because not everybody attends city council. I hope that a lot of people will start attending these. There's going to be more than one, and more than one discussion because the city really wants to know.
And this is the one that Tom was spearheading, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
and
wanting
Nicholas
to do
too.
this.
I mean, they have both been working on it, and I think it's great because the community members are going to get to weigh in and really talk about what they're still going through, what they went through, what they would like to see, how they see the North End in the future, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can express your concerns.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I want to say thank you for watching, and we hope that you have a lovely evening.
Yes.
Raylene, thank you
stay
for...
cool.
Yeah, it's because it's bloody hot out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and...
Crank the AC.
Keep the AC still going. Leah's waiting for me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
All right.
Hope you all have a lovely evening.
Yes,
and
me too. And
stay
love you
cool.
all.
Yep. All right. Good night. Thank you for watching the Barre Beat podcast live from Raylene's basement.
Yeah.
Fly in the wall.
From the dugout.
From the dugout. That's closed.
That's what Shep calls it. From the dugout.
Did it look like the dugout?
Well, kind of.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember what the dugout looked like. I don't think I ever went there.
No.
No,
the dugout, like, because she does 4 quarters, the sports, the dugout.
Oh, the dugout.
Oh, my goodness gracious.